Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks may have gotten themselves in a little bit of trouble. They used Trunks' time machine to go back in time in order to visit planet Vegeta. They weren't planning on doing anything but observing, but things changed once Goku accidentally met his mom and dad. He overheard them talking about saving Kakarot from Frieza, and this made Goku decide to change this planet Vegeta's fate. Thankfully, this new timeline won't affect their own. Thus, Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta confront Frieza alongside Bardock. Showing off their Super Saiyan forms, Vegeta was finally able to defeat Frieza. They hadn't realized that killing Frieza would only draw out King Cold. Now our heroes feel they have an obligation to help the Saiyans defeat this menace. Will they be able to change the Saiyans into something for the better? The time-traveling adventure continues now. Countdown to Legend. What if Goku and Vegeta went back in time? Part 2.
Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks wake up the morning after their battle against Frieza. The king fastidiously asked when his training would begin, acting as if it would be him to get the best, most personal training. However, this was not the case. In fact, the team gathered every single Saiyan in the lower levels. Nappa, Vegeta, and Raditz arrived back from their mission, ready to begin training. Vegeta felt he didn't need any training, but he was quick to shut up once he saw Trunks' Super Saiyan power. The three were transformed for the majority of the days, with any scouter in sight exploding.
Okay, well, I haven't trained anyone in a long time, but listen. What we're going to show you is very powerful, but I only want you to use it in self-defense or sparring. What are you talking about? We're Saiyans. We conquer planets. That's our job.
That was only your job because you always served someone. You're savages, weaklings. There's always people stronger than you out there. The only thing you can do is better yourself and protect each other.
Though the Saiyans disagreed completely, they nodded, because they wanted this training. But there were some, like Bardock and Gine, who felt that they had been destroying things for their whole lives. Maybe they would want to save something for once. And to them, this started with saving planet Vegeta. Goku and Trunks began to instruct groups. The Saiyans were not great learners, as most didn't train before, as they relied on their natural skills. So this was harder for some than Goku expected. When King Vegeta stepped up to the front of Goku's group, demanding his teaching to start, Vegeta pushed his way in front of him.
Actually, you're not training with them. At least not yet. Come with me.
King Vegeta was confused, but he did so. The two went together into a small spaceship. Vegeta knew more or less where he wanted to go. He turned it on and blasted into space.
Where the hell are you taking me? To visit an old friend.
It wasn't long before Vegeta and his father landed on a remote green planet. Vegeta had been there once or twice to visit this person, but he wasn't really familiar with the area.
Vampa, why have you taken me here?
Broly, quit playing with that damn thing!
King Vegeta's eyes widened as he focused on the giant green creature, play fighting with a small Saiyan child. And his father down below. The father was about to blast the creature's ear, but Vegeta grabbed his arm.
What the? Trust me, you don't want to do that.
King Vegeta?
I'm a friend. King Vegeta's back there. We've come for you.
King Vegeta looked solemnly at Paragus, and then looked to the ground. Broly rushed down and hid behind his father. Paragus was overcome with joy at the sight of two Saiyans. So much so that he hugged Vegeta, but was pushed uncomfortably away. Even still, he wasn't happy to see King Vegeta. The king didn't say another word, but he didn't have to. Vegeta turned to him and said,
That kid could have been your salvation against Frieza. With maybe just some proper training, instead I had to step in. You're lucky this universe's planet Vegeta's okay.
Everyone there was confused. After saying goodbye to Ba, they all headed to planet Vegeta. However, on the way there, Paragus got an impulse to kill King Vegeta. But before he could reach for his blaster, Vegeta stepped in front of Paragus. He told him that this rescue should be enough of an apology, and told him that now that Frieza was dead, there would be a room in the castle for him. King Vegeta wanted to argue against it, but accepted it. He was in front of the legendary Super Saiyan. There was nothing he could do. Once they returned, they saw how messy the operation had become. While Trunks' team was okay, Goku's team was all over the place. The majority of his team was elites who didn't want to listen to that low class. Goku didn't seem to realize just how bad it was. He turned around to see Broly.
Broly, can't believe you gave us so much trouble.
Trouble? How do you know my son? Kakarot, you idiot!
Hey, don't call me an idiot, Vegeta.
Both of you, shut up! All of the Saiyans were staring at them, especially Bardock. There's no way. But he really thought this was his son, grown up. How? Stranger things have happened. Vegeta and Goku awkwardly laughed, and the king asked why he was being called Vegeta.
I'm not. That's not my name. Don't worry about it.
Gine yelled out from the crowd asking why they called her son an idiot, and Trunks face-palmed. It looks as if a crisis had been averted. The little Prince Vegeta was clearly more willing to talk to a Super Saiyan that was an elite. In fact, Vegeta pretty much took over most of the training. Days went on with difficult training, but Goku focused primarily on training Broly. He wanted to teach him how to control his power, somehow. After all, he knew that he would have a similar task in the future, once he met the reincarnation of Majin Buu. Broly took a liking to Goku, and Paragus appreciated someone taking the time to teach his son. However, Goku made sure to tell Broly that he didn't need to fight if he didn't want to. He made that mistake once before with Gohan. He wasn't going to do it again. He also promised him to take him to visit Ba sometime before he left. But Broly was happy to fight and learn, which Goku anticipated because of how well he did in their battle. And finally, Vegeta trained the most powerful warriors. They slowly began to listen to him, but above all, they saw the friendship the three Saiyans had, challenging each other while pushing each other up. It looked as if, at least for some, they could do more for themselves than just take over planets. But Goku and Vegeta couldn't figure out how to teach them Super Saiyan. While Goku taught Gohan over a long period of time, Vegeta tried a different approach with Kaba. Maybe Goku could do something similar. This did work before. During some sparring, Goku battled a group of Saiyans, including Bardock. One by one, the Saiyans fell to the power of Super Saiyan, until it was just Goku and Bardock. Their battle was great, and it drew everyone's attention, but Goku knew this was the moment he was waiting for.
Come on, this can't be your full power.
How can I compete against a Super Saiyan?
You can climb over any wall with enough hard work. Come on! You want your kids to die? Gine, Raditz, Kakarot?
What?
King Cold will kill them all, and if you try to send him to Earth again, he'll just find him and kill him.
No. No way. We have to.
Goku smirked, throwing Bardock across the field, raising his arm out and blasting him. As the blast consumed him, he thought of his kids, his wife, his team, and even the royal family. The stranger was right. He had to do it. Suddenly, he felt a huge surge of energy around him, something familiar. The stranger explained to the Saiyans that Super Saiyan feels like a tingling sensation in the back, a sensation he started to feel at this moment as his emotions exploded. Once the smoke cleared, the Saiyans watched as Bardock rose from the forest in a golden aura, hair standing up. He had achieved Super Saiyan. Bardock rushed at Goku, punching him with full force. Goku barely moved, but he smirked. Finally, progress. The Saiyans all around him cheered, except for the king and the prince. But with no time to waste, Goku and the rest began to instruct the Saiyans. Little by little, they started to get it. Super Saiyan Wish is just a tingly sensation, but also a raw emotion. Not everyone could achieve it, of course, since one requires a certain amount of SLs to transform, but many did, some taking longer than others. It was an amazing sight. Though Goku trained Broly, he was careful with him. He had seen what his transformations could do. He really needed to teach him to control his power before he could transform. Regardless, Vegeta and the King were two Saiyans who had the most trouble. That was until it was revealed to the prince that it was in fact a half-breed that was teaching them, and Vegeta mocked his younger self by hinting at everything that he was scared of. Eventually, the kid got it, and his father followed suit. It also helped that they had many Saiyans to spar with, pushing each other to their limit and getting Zenkais along the way. Additionally, they taught them all to read Ki. This was an essential ability to have an edge over their invaders. One day, while all the Saiyans were playing, eating, and fighting, Goku and the other two time travelers felt a great power coming towards the planet Vegeta. Since they had the most experience sensing Ki, they got a read of it long before anyone else did. It was time to warn them. The king, who was training with Bardock and his squad along with a few other Saiyans, gathered everyone around. Even through their power-ups, Goku could tell they were all terrified. They hadn't felt King Cold's nor Frieza's Ki. Without numbers, they really couldn't tell how strong they were.
We have to leave now.
You all have made amazing progress.
Goku smiled. As usual, even if a little, Goku had been able to change bad people. Instead of being horrible planet conquerors, these Saiyans spend their days bettering themselves, something that took Vegeta a long time to realize. He only hoped that this would keep up after they leave. The Saiyans tried to get them to stay, but there was no arguing. The three told them that King Cold was coming their way, and to be ready. Without telling them, they would watch the battle from far away. The Saiyans sped off, but Bardock grabbed Gine's hand, rushing after them. They needed answers before they left. The three knew they were being followed, so Trunks and Vegeta sped off. They expected Goku to follow, but instead, he stopped. He met Gine's eyes in the middle of the forest. Bardock didn't expect him to stop either, but he was glad.
I just have one question. Who are you?
I'm a friend, just like we've been saying. I'm sorry I can't specify.
But why? Why are you helping us? Are you a resurrected Saiyan from old? Are you one of us we never met? Are you?
Bardock looked over to his son in his wife's arms, then back at the stranger. Goku smiled at them, hugging the two. It wouldn't matter anymore. After all, Trunks met Vegeta in this way.
I'm sorry for having lied. It's strange and I don't really understand it myself, but we came from a different future. My name is Goku, Son Goku. But you two, you can call me Kakarot.
Goku placed 2 fingers on his forehead, and without anything else to say, he disappeared over to his friends. Gine didn't understand. She could have lost her head right then and there, but Bardock gained conviction. He knew what he was fighting for. He was fighting for his 2 sons. At this very moment, he put a hand on Gine's back, letting her know that it would be okay. It was time.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back. And now back to our show.
The sun was eclipsed by a small fleet of ships. King Cold had arrived, but he wasn't alone. A small probe ship had gone and collected Frieza's body. Now the reconstructed Frieza and his father were coming for revenge. Their power levels were massive, above all the Saiyans, even with Super Saiyan. But when the Saiyans had a huge army of them, Frieza and King Cold at the helm of a small band of soldiers. All the Saiyans kneeled before them. Frieza inspected them. He wanted them to suffer. Starting with the king, Frieza walked up to him, pulling his fist back. Frieza slammed his fist against the king's face, but the king smirked. He was barely scratched. Frieza didn't use his full power, of course, just enough to kill him, at least to kill the old King Vegeta. The king stood up as his aura erupted. Frieza's eyes widened, and his heart dropped. Behind King Vegeta, every other capable Saiyan rose, bursting their golden auras open. An army of Super Saiyans were ready to face the tyrant. It was a nightmare for Frieza, and the future for the Saiyans. Without any more words, all the Saiyans rushed at the Frieza force. Frieza shook in fear as the Saiyans and keybolts flashed around him. His whole world was collapsing. King Cold slapped him in the back of the head, making him react. Frieza took on as many Saiyans as he could, utilizing everything in his arsenal. He was able to take down quite a few by using his tail, along with death beams. King Cold, too. However, once the Frieza soldiers were all defeated, King Cold and Frieza had their backs against their own ship. Their powers are nothing against Frieza, even when transformed. But as a team, they still have a hard time. But they do better. They begin to overwhelm the 2 tyrants, in fact, because of the large numbers. Not only that, but psychologically, Frieza was being torn down. Some fell during the battle, but Frieza and Cold couldn't keep up with the sheer number of Saiyans. But then, Frieza wished to end it all. He rose up to the sky, launching a giant sphere to destroy the planet. His father called him insane, and the army of Saiyans, led by Bardock, all held the sphere back. But the power was so much that the ground below them began to break. Far away, Goku felt the ki of one person, who hadn't been fighting a lot, besides protecting someone. But he knew he was their only hope now. Goku didn't want to intervene, but he didn't want to see people die either. Neither did Trunks. Trunks couldn't handle it anymore. He was going to step in, but Goku held him back. The person was finally going to step in. The sphere Frieza threw down started to be pushed back rapidly. Bardock looked to his side and was surprised to see it was just the kid pushing it. Meanwhile, Frieza grabbed Prince Vegeta, but the kid wasn't about to be defeated easily. He fought with all his might. King Vegeta watched from under the sphere as his kid did what he could to stand up against Frieza. And in those moments, he realized how much his son fought like the strange Saiyan who taught them. The king smirked.
I don't fear you!
Then you will die braver than most.
Vegeta spat at Frieza, who punched in one more time.
Look at you, Prince Vegeta, so pathetic. No kingdom, no crown, and soon no planet. All alone.
He's not alone!
Frieza looked up, his eyes widening along with his dad's. The sphere he threw down was being held by a child in one hand. Broly. And behind him, Bardock, Gine, Tora, Nappa, Raditz, King Vegeta, and any other Saiyan alive stood tall with their auras as powerful as ever. The sphere was pushed far, traveling up to the sky and creating a huge explosion. There was something strange about Broly. His hair stood a little, and he had a yellow glow to his eyes. Goku smirked. Broly had entered into his berserk state, but he could control it. Goku knew that if Vegeta and other elites could control their Ozaru power, then Broly could too. But above that, Broly's aura burst open with his own golden hue, a power never felt before. King Vegeta and Paragus smirked at each other, lifting their arms up along with every other Saiyan and blasting the tyrant with a giant wave of ki. The Saiyan spirit cursed through the world, and it was over, as if they were never there to begin with, only a crater left behind. The Saiyans cheered loudly, but then they were all blasted away by an explosion. Broly's power was surging, overflowing. Controlling Super Saiyan with such a massive power was too much for the young kid. And although he had made huge progress towards it, it looks like his training wasn't over. Goku knew what to do. Before Paragus could shock his son, he teleported to him, and then over to Vampa. Hugging him lightly as to not let him hurt anyone else, the two landed on top of a friend, Ba. Broly had told Goku about him during the training, and sure enough, this allowed Broly to calm down. They stayed there for a while, and eventually returned. Upon their return, Broly was celebrated as a hero. Goku told everyone that he would need it to be treated well, and taught to control his power. He was a special kid. He would need the whole planet's support through it. Vegeta and Trunks smiled proudly at the Saiyan race, but Goku wanted to leave them with one more lesson. A lesson that his master Roshi had taught him.
Learn well, play well, eat well, and rest well. The Kame style is with you. Remember, there'll always be someone stronger than you. Another goalpost for you to meet. Keep improving yourselves and watch out for any bad guys coming your way.
Goku gave his family a thumbs up and ruffled baby Goku's hair as he walked past Gine. Bardock and Gine waved him goodbye, saying,
Goodbye, son Goku. Now we must really leave, but you can take care of yourselves. Thank you, son.
Vegeta looked at his father perplexed. So did the young prince, but the king couldn't help but shoot a smirk at him. Vegeta smirked back, and with that, the three strangers were gone, leaving behind a new adventure for the Saiyans. But as the crew returned back to the present, Trunks asked a little question of the heroes. Listen, this was probably a huge mistake. I've violated many time travel laws, as we know, but I think it was worth it. I think.
I agree. I'm proud of them.
Huh.
If you all want, we can visit a different time.
Where could we go?
Well, we went to your childhood. How about mine?
I like that idea.
We should probably visit your mother first, Trunks. But after that...
Alright then, setting course. With another adventure on the horizon, our Dragon team eagerly awaits the new challenges ahead. But as for the story of the different planet Vegeta, only time will tell their fate. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for the support through this series. I really hope to make more installments in the future where Goku and the crew go to different time periods. If you would like me to continue this or any other of my what ifs, be sure to share the video with your friends. That really helps a lot. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. Shout out to these guys who answered the Dragon Ball question of the week last week. You guys came up with awesome Saiyan names. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, where would you like to see Goku and Vegeta time travel to next? Goku's childhood, the events of Jacko the Galactic Patrolman,